This is Teresa. I'm the mother of Johnny Ballou, and I am his co-host and the producer of Johnny Speaks. My son Johnny is the host of the show. First, I'd like to say that this segment that we're doing is called "Sexual Addiction and the Effects It Have on Your Friends and Family." First of all, I want to say these are our opinions only. We're not trying to influence anybody. We're just sharing our opinions on things that we have experienced with this topic. So I'm going to turn over for a moment for my son Johnny to speak. Here you go, Johnny.
Oh, hello. Yeah, this is Johnny with another episode of Johnny Speaks with my co-host, my mom, Teresa. And we're going to be talking about, it's a not safe for work, really. It's a mature subject, sexual addiction. Um, Sexual addiction is a real addiction. It's like alcohol, smoking, gambling. It's all part of the addiction family. And like, unfortunately, we know some people that have a problem with that. And unfortunately, they don't see it's a problem because when you have a sexual addiction, it's just like drinking alcohol. All you can think about is doing that. And like that can affect your social life as well as your job performance, as well as just your mental well being and self esteem. Also, too, if you're not practicing safe sex condoms and stuff, you can end up with an STD or a surprise pregnancy if you're not ready for that. And also too, it just having sexual addiction it just can ruin the life. And then people have gone bankrupt over it. They lost friends, family. They cheated on their spouses. Um, it's just a whole demeanor change. And like we just wanted to put a spotlight on it. But we're not gonna like preach to y'all. We're just gonna talk about it. And like just like Alcoholics Anonymous exists to treat alcoholism. There is treatment for sexual addiction. It usually involves psychiatry. Well, I was talking to a counselor, but in order, like, you can't really make someone change their addiction if they don't want to recognize it themselves. And I know that's a hard thing to make somebody realize, but the person has to want to change for not only them, for other people, but for themselves as well. So this is a serious subject because it can have a huge effect if we don't keep the the things that exist in life at a controlled level and go excessive of anything cannot be good because it can always excess anything can just cause detrimental effects and you can't let any one addiction rule your life because life is composed of so many things and the meaning of life means so many things to different people and like you just don't want to be ruled by one thing you want to have a normal life in all aspects, but just not to the point where you're doing harm to yourself and your family or your friends or coworkers, whoever. And I'm gonna turn it over to you, mom.
Thank you, Johnny. That was so well put. I appreciate it. Thank you again. So again, like my son said, we're not here to preach or judge anybody. This is about to share about things that we've experienced and that we've known of. You know, um, in in parts of my family, you know, sexual addiction has affected a whole bunch of certain people in my family, and it directs me affect directly because individual. I won't name names, but there's an individual that it's so bad for that they will spend their last dime on sex workers, um, to the point where this individual could become homeless. So I've had to take over the finances for this individual.
And poor
And
money
and
management.
for it's poor money management. This person works and they make okay money. Not like they're rich or anything like that, but they can have a much better life. But all they're consumed with is sex, getting sex all the time, day, night. They can't even think about anything else, even to give it up besides food. As my son said, sexual addiction is very serious, okay? It is like my son says, smoking, drinking, drugs, anything, any addiction that you have is a tough addiction. Sexual addiction is, to me, is the mind and the body. The mind is taking over, making you, think about all I want to do is have sex all the time. Well, in an ideal world, most of us, whether we're straight, gay, whatever the case may be, majority of us, we love to be having relations, having sex a lot. But the reality says is we still have families we have to take care of. We still have, our loved ones. We still have to go to work. We still have to go to school. We still have to function as human beings. And if you imagine if all we all did was just have sex all day, all night, every minute of the day, nothing would get accomplished. And that's just the reality of it. And the thing is that I say a lot of people are embarrassed to admit that they have a sexual addiction. And you know what? And people laugh at it. They think, oh, it's just a joke. It's not a joke, guys. It's not a joke. Because I can even speak on my behalf that I have to keep myself focused, on what I need to do so I won't get caught up in things that I should not be doing. You know what I mean? And my love for my son and taking care of my household and doing what I need to do keeps me on the right path. And I'm trying to mold this particular family member to tell them, hey, you'll get X amount of dollars of, a pay period. You can't be spending every dime you got on some hoochie coochie stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be real. We're grown. We all can say this. I mean, and not just men have this sexual addiction. There are women too that have sexual addictions that all they want to do is get busy all the time. You know, and if you are going to be engaging in this, doesn't even go with addictions per se, but if you are going to be going out there doing all this stuff, make sure, guys, that you use condoms. Because condoms are the safest thing that you. Well, abstinence is the most safest thing you can do, but in reality, most of us not abstinent. Okay, so using condoms the proper way is a good way to protect yourself. But if you're going to go out there and mess with sex workers, whether it's prostitutes, escorts, blah blah blah, you're risking a chance because now you're talking about getting AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, the clap, um, herpes, and different things of that nature. HIV, those things really. I mean, it can lead to death depending on what you do. And then if you get these things and you don't get treatment for it, and believe me, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but there's an individual in my family that has some type of
and they're not getting treated,
getting a venereal disease, and they've had it since last year.
Even though they know it,
they know it, but they won't
and the
get treatment.
Actually called
and called me looking for them because I'm in further backup.
And they either state of denial or they just don't want to accept facts.
Yeah, and they're scared to get treatment. I'm like, you know what? If you don't get treatment, you will eventually die from this stuff because untreated. That's why they have medicines. I'm not saying people that get an STD, they're not bad people. You know what I mean? Stuff happens, but that's the reason why you have medicine out here and doctors to be able to treat it. So it's not as embarrassing as you think. Because I'll tell you, this particular individual, when this person found out that it was suspected that they may have a disease, I went with this person to the hospital, okay, and we went to the emergency room, and they told us, well, you got to go to the area where they treat that. Do you know how many people was in the hospital? It was at least 300 people in there, 300 or more for the same thing. So I told this individual, instead of being embarrassed about it, you be glad you took a step to even try to even look into it. But once this person had their test done, they're looking to give them their results, but they will not go back. They will not go back. So I've tried to remind this individual, hey, you're not young. This individual I'm talking about is, you might say, he's almost a senior citizen almost. He's like around 60, you know what I mean? And this individual is still doing the same things that they've been doing. They're untreated, but they're still going out there visiting sex workers for their pleasure and blowing mad money. So, until now, I can say all I want, like give them advice, show love, whatever. But if this person or anybody is going to do not want to get help, there's almost nothing you can do with it. But see, people will tell me, because other family members that know that I'm doing these things, right? They'll tell me, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, you just cut them off. It's difficult when you really care and love about someone. You just don't individually just cut them off. You want to show some type of support, but also they have to want to help themselves. You know what I mean? So, and what I'm saying to everybody is that, you know, there's always help in groups and stuff that you can go to when you have this problem. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, also too, sexual addiction. I don't care what race you are, what gender you are, how old you are, how much money you got, how much money you don't have, what's your religious status. It can happen to anybody.
Yes, it
So
can.
it's a universal problem. It can be a universal problem. So there's really no face of anybody that represents that. It's a Earth problem, a human species problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a humanity potential problem. And of course, just like when someone's alcoholic and smoking and drug use and gambling, as your loved ones, family, friends, or whatever, when you see that person doing that and then they don't want to listen to you when you're trying to get them help, it takes a toll mentally on the people that care about you. So that's another reason to want to get help for it, because like who wants to see people that they care about in pain, as well as having other people worried mentally, and a lot of mental stress can cause physical problems.
Mm-hmm.
So like addictions don't only affect the person that actually has the addiction,
That's correct.
it affects everybody around them in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of times the addict, whatever they are, don't even realize that it has it or
Thank
refuse to
you.
see it.
Amen.
So yeah. So, do you have anything else to wrap, kind of close this out?
Yes. So, thank you, Johnny. So to wrap this segment up, it's just basically just touching on the thing about, if you're out there and you're watching us and you know someone that has a sexual addiction, or if you're yourself have a sexual addiction, okay, put it in this scenario. If you know someone that has it and it's affecting you, whether you're the wife, the husband, the sister, the brother, the blah blah, friends, try to show support to that person. Don't embarrass them, but encourage them to try to seek help. Because, if it's to the point, how you know you were an addict, if you're spending every dime you get on it, and you're also, being abusive to the opposite sex, you're saying, you're just too vulgar. And another thing too, it's okay. I will address this. It's okay that, like, those who watch porn, there's nothing wrong with it if you watch it. I mean, most of us have watched it, other than my son. You know what I mean? But most of us have watched it. But You got to know the difference between what you see on porn, because a lot of the porn is simulated. So all that stuff you see, all this stuff they be doing, is not necessarily realistic. When you are with your partner, whoever you deal with, whether you gay, straight, bi, whatever your situation is, it's all good. But if you're bringing that type of stuff to that person, the sexual things, and your partners are comfortable with it, you got to kind of look at it and say, and you're just constantly pushing it, maybe you're going getting borderline, possibly sexual addiction. I'm not saying it is, but just got to know that if you need help, there's help out here. You can go on the internet, look up Sexual Addiction Anonymous. They have groups. They just like groups like anything with alcohol, with drugs. They got counselors out here for it. You know what I mean? They got things and help for it. So there's no reason to be embarrassed anymore. Maybe 15, 20 years ago, you can have be embarrassed. Nobody want to talk about it. But it's something that we need to address today. So I want to say in closing, I want to thank you for watching our channel. We'd like you to share this video, like the video, And again, this is our opinions only. We're not trying to preach to anybody. We understand that we're all human beings and God loves all of us. And we just thank you so much. And we love you so much. And we just thank you for everything. You want to say anything before closing?
Oh yeah, I agree with everything my mom said. Yeah, so thank you for watching. And like I said in the previous video, just watch this, talk to people with this, share it. Because of course this is Johnny Speaks, and this segment we're talking about sexual addiction was like any other addiction. So we just wanted to shed light on that, as well as like what you can do to try to help your loved one. So like on that note, I hope everybody has a good night and a great weekend. And me and my mom are grateful that you all are tuning in. So thank you
so
again
much.
and have a good night.
You too. We love you. Thank you so much. Take care.